Hey guys, today I'm going to talk about adding integers. It's the problem type 1 that you'll see on Alex. The way I'm going to develop this is by using stairs just to kind of help with making sense of the problem before you even start. So the first problem we're going to start off is -6 plus -2. And the easiest way I think to make sense of it is by when we add positives, I always want students to think that we are going up. So these are positive numbers. And then the negative numbers are going to be represented by going down. So I'll always ask, all right, so what are we going to do first? So first we're going to go, since it's a -6, we're going to go down 6 steps. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, then I'm going to ask the students, are we going to go up 2 steps or would we go down 2 steps? And then since it's a negative, we're going to go down 2 more steps. There's 1 step, 2 step. And then to kind of help them make sense of it, I'm going to ask, did we go up steps at all or did we just keep going down? And obviously we just kept going down. And then I would ask, how many steps did we travel down? And hopefully we would realize that we ended up traveling 8 steps down. And so our answer would be that we traveled 8 steps down, and so -6 plus -2 equals -8. Right? So that would be for the first problem. I'm going to go ahead and erase this here. And for the second problem, I'm going to have excuse me, use the same concept. Right? So what are we going to do first? Well, the problem says that we have 4. So I would ask, are we going to go up or down? So since it's a positive, we're going to go up 4 steps. 3 and 4. So we went up 4 steps. And then the problem tells us that we're going to have to go down 5 steps. And the reason it's down is because it's a negative number. And so we go down 1, 2, 3, 4. Or when we go down the 4 steps, we're already where we started with, which I show the class that we start out. That's always our 0. And so then we have to go down 1 more step. And we end up at a -1, which means we're below from where we started, which is -1. I also like to use counters. And so, just as you noticed with the stairs, I had yellow and red. I use the red counters to represent negatives. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 2 more negatives. Right? And then I will have the students add up. Well, what do you see? Well, we see that we have 8 negatives. So I have them count them. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and they're all negative, so our answer is -8. Okay. And then for the second problem, 4 plus -5, we would use the yellow counters to represent our positive numbers. And then the red, we're going to add the 5 negatives. Okay. And I always ask the students, well, if we have a positive and a negative, right, how much does that equal? Right, and it equals 0. And so we end up calling this a 0 pair. And then we discuss how many 0 pairs do we make. We end up making 4. And we're left with a -1. Right? This concept here with the making the 0 pairs, is the same concept as if we were traveling back down the steps. How many steps do I need to travel to get back to 0 or where we started? And so hopefully with either the counters or the stairs, it begins to develop that understanding that 4 and negative 4 are, we call them additive inverse. And then by knowing additive inverse, what we're able to do is we're able to manipulate that problem. So if we take 4 plus a negative 5, without the counters, eventually what I'd like for them to do is recognize that, well, we would have 4 positives, and I have to add 5 negatives. And so I can manipulate our negative 5 as negative 4 plus negative 1. By knowing that, well, 4 and negative 4, we call them opposites, or that additive inverse, and that equals 0 plus negative 1, and so our answer is a negative 1.